Okay, just washed my hands, got all the cinnamon off, so now we can go back to the original one. Move those cinnamon pieces. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna build surface tension along the top of the dough so that it will, when baked, it will form a nice ear and it'll have a great crispy crust. And so this process we're gonna do by letting it proof a second time in the fridge, and then baking it when it's cold. So we'll put it in a nice hot preheated oven, and it will just go poof and it'll expand. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna shape it and then we're gonna put it into a proofing bowl or a banneton. So what you do is there's a lot of different ways of doing this, but what I like to do is I use my bench scraper, and you can kind of see the surface texture right now is like this. Let's see if we can show you. So basically you're just moving it around. You're kind of taking it toward you, using your hand to guide it. You're pushing under with one hand as you're moving it around like that. And as you continue to do it, you're building that surface tension. You're making it all nice, and see how you get it really nice and tight, and it's getting kind of stringy on the top. That's exactly what you want. And see, those bubbles are starting to work to the top here. That'll be beautiful when you go to bake it. It'll make like a nice bubbly outside crust. So the bannetons have a liner in them, and these have been treated. So what I mean by that is when you get them, you have to spray them with water and then put flour in them, and it makes them so that the dough doesn't stick to it. But you still sprinkle it a little bit. Hold on, let me back this off. But you still sprinkle a little bit of flour in. Some people do rice flour. I just do all purpose. It's never given me a problem. So then you take your dough like this and you flip it into the basket. And then this is going to be the bottom of the dough, so I don't really care. Some people do all sorts of fancy stuff on the bottom, and I don't know. I'm not fancy. All right, so then what you do is you let this rest. In the fridge. And I really like press and seal for this. So I just cover it. Nice and tight, because you don't want it to get dried out. And then I'm gonna let it rest in the fridge. It's 9 o'clock in the morning now. So I'm gonna let it rest for most of the day, and I will bake it later this evening. And that way I can bring it to you. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'll think about that. All right, let's do the other one. Okay, so it is rested. Okay. And we're gonna shape this one up. This is also gonna go in a oval banneton. The same thing, just kind of, I'm trying to tuck in the sides that were all swirled, so that it looks, so that the top at least looks nice. The bottom might look a little wonky, but it's hard with when you put inclusions in because you don't want to work the dough too much where it's going to like break and then it's going to start oozing out. So there's a fine line between like, because I can tell like over here, let me show you. Over here you can kind of see that if I work that much more, then the cinnamon is going to come out. So I'm going to be gentle with it, and I'm just going to say that this is good. So I'm going to take it and flop it into the basket. And like I said, this is the bottom. So not really concerned with so much about how the bottom looks. And same thing with this. So for the second proof, it doesn't have to expand in size. It doesn't do, like it doesn't have to double in size. It doesn't have to look any different. It's just kind of, I don't know. Some people do a second proof on the counter, and then bake it right from there, like a few hours after. And I think that's what the book might say, but I found that if I do a cold proof, then as the second, I get such a nice crispy crust, and the ear where you slice it and it just expands is huge. So this is what I do. It also allows you to bake at your own time frame. Like sourdough can take a lot of time if you are very regimented with it, but if you do these little tricks like put it in the fridge, or do it overnight, or alter the ratio that you feed your starter, you can make sourdough work into your time, and then you don't have to be a slave to it. So that's kind of what I do. All right, I'm gonna go pop these in the fridge, and then we'll be back later to bake them.